Hopeful Podcast.
Episode number 15. Yeah, 15. I got it right this time. Yeah. Welcome back, guys. It has been only 2 weeks, but we are back. I promise you, we are not canceled. Yet.
Dang.
Yeah. Anyway, Bryce, before we start our reviews today, I have a little bit of a fun little gift for you that has been, I want to say, 6 years in the making.
Okay.
This was a delivery from a friend to another.
Oh boy. We're getting this on camera, huh?
Yeah, we're going to get this one on camera.
Some packing tape. Do you have like a knife for me to actually cut this open? Or am I having to like...
I'm a pacifist. I don't have knives. Actually, yes, I do.
I have to like...
Honestly, all you have to do is just pull over because it's.
Oh yeah, I guess I can just slide it out.
Yeah, just slide it out. Hang on, let me make sure. Okay, yeah, flip it over.
So we're gonna get it on camera.
Well, yeah, you're gonna see it.
So I'm gonna angle it like this.
Yeah, you can angle it like that, and then just pull from the top.
Oh, I was gonna do this.
Oh, okay, here.
You fine with that?
Yeah, okay.
What the heck?
Don't you remember what this was?
Is this Annabelle? What is this?
I think this is. I don't know. This was that art piece that you commissioned Caitlin.
Oh, this is Annabelle. Okay, interesting. Yeah. All right.
Yep. Congratulations, your art piece has finally been delivered.
Dang, yeah, no, this is, wow, this is pre-pandemic, around that time?
6 years in the making, officially, you could say.
Wow.
Yeah, she, I think we were talking and whatnot one day, and she's like, oh yeah, I still have that art piece for Bryce, so...
Yeah, no, I never got it. This is kind of
well, I mean, COVID and everything, and didn't have much of, meetups, but yeah, it's been delivered. There you go, Caitlin.
Nice. Oh. Well, that's gonna hang somewhere.
Yep. Anyway, now to the actual podcast. Today, Bryce,
yes.
You know what we are reviewing today?
Yes, I do. Because we're starting off with my pick for today.
Yes.
And we are covering The Time Machine, a 1960 adaptation of H.G. Wells. It's 1960, correct? 1960, 1963, around that era?
62, I believe, is when the movie came out.
Okay.
I think.
I know it was around the time of, like JFK being assassinated and all that.
Both of these movies actually came out around the same time as each other. Maybe like 1 year in between. But also, since you did this to me last time when we reviewed a movie based on a book.
Yep. So
there you go.
I didn't bring my copy.
That's my old copy whenever I first started to read a lot. I have not touched...
Oh, there's a penguin. Nice.
Yeah, I have not really read from that book in I don't know how many years.
Yeah, I should have brought mine. Mine's really nice. It's like the old Illustrators classic.
Yeah.
Like it's like 3 times the size. Like... And it also is in, like, 30-point font. It's, like, old man font.
Yeah, like, I remember from my 8th grade class, we had to, like, it was what we called was SSR, Supersonic Reading, or Super Special Reading, or something like that. And one of the first books I chose was The Time Machine, because I guess my mom took me to the bookstore, and I picked that one.
Yep.
I have War of the Worlds in the bookshelf on the other side of me, but we are not talking about any adaptations. We're talking about this one.
Yes. So this is our second H.G. Wells movie adaptation we're covering. First one being Invisible Man.
That's true.
Second one being...
Don't worry about it.
Second one being this one. If you can't tell, I love H.G. Wells.
Oh, yeah.
H.G. Wells is one of my all-time favorite authors. I would easily say my top 3 of all time.
I'm not... Oh, I don't doubt that one bit.
Yeah.
I adore a lot of his stories. Honestly, whenever I'd done research into H.G. Wells before, well, not really before, it was like, I think how like the report we had to do was like we had to talk about the author and we had to talk about the book.
Yep.
So if I remember right, his whole thing was he liked making allegories and whatnot, like political allegories and stuff, and the science fiction kind of came second.
Yeah.
So I just thought, oh, that's fun.
Yeah, because science fiction was a newer idea. Not, like, super new, because, like, science fiction has existed since, like, Lucius, with, like, a true story and ridiculous things like that. Like, the ancient Rome. But, like, science fiction that we think of nowadays definitely comes from, like, the birth of, like, Industrial Revolution. Things were jumping forward faster than any time before.
Well, I was about to say Jules Verne.
Jules Verne's more adventure than science fiction, but there's like science fiction elements. Like Journey to the Center of Earth's a bit sci-fi, I would say. It falls a bit, I'd say more adventure.
And also maybe From Earth to the Moon would be considered.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah, Earth to the Moon. That's definitely sci-fi, I would say.
Yep. But the one that everybody really points to as like the you say pioneer of science fiction, H.G. Wells
Yes.
definitely has the he has the reason to say that I made that up. But yeah, a large amount of sci-fi conventions definitely come from H.G. Wells to an extent, or at least maybe you could say as a response to some of the ideas he proposed.
Yep.
People took that ideas and ran with it.
Which the biggest example of that being The Time Machine.
Yep.
Possibly his most famous work is either that or War of the Worlds.
I would
one of those two.
Maybe I'd say War of the Worlds because it continuously gets adaptations. I mean, we just had another one last year.
That's fair. But like I feel not as many people know War of the Worlds for H.G. Wells. I feel like it has gone past him a little bit. Because like there's like the famous like radio broadcasts and things like that.
Yeah, from Orson Welles' radio broadcast.
Yeah, exactly.
That's constantly talked about in at least around a little bit in history as like an example of how radio took over households in the 1930s and 40s.
So like stuff like that, that's like a thing that a lot of people talk about. So I feel like it has escaped him a little bit because a lot of people think of like, oh, the radio broadcast and things like that. Not as many people think of H.G. Wells. While The Time Machine is H.G. Wells. I feel it's definitively him. It's one of his most iconic to him works.
Yes.
While War of the Worlds is one of those that's adapted a bit. Either way, that does not matter.
How about this? So look, War of the Worlds is more well known for its many adaptations.
Yes.
The radio broadcast. There's like 3 major movie adaptations.
Yeah, even a Steven Spielberg one.
Yep.
Like.
What else is there? Well, The Time Machine only has 2 adaptations. One from the 1960s and the one from the early 2000s.
Yes. 2002, I think, somewhere around there.
It came out around the same time as...
the Tower's falling around that time, so...
yeah, Towers are falling. But it also came out around the time when movie studios were trying to capitalize on the Lord of the Rings craze.
Yep.
Taking old books and then trying to make them grandiose movies and stuff.
Yeah.
And that and that adaptation / I guess remake, because people consider it to be both, it was actually directed by H.G. Wells' grandson.
Ah, neat.
Yeah, but technically there was 2 directors because I think he had a hard time directing a major movie.
I'm not surprised. He probably had no training.
Well, he did have training as working on movies, but I don't know about like a big budget Hollywood movie at like the scale of what The Time Machine was trying to be.
Yeah.
I think he did mostly television stuff, but...
that makes sense, yeah.
I can't remember for sure. But yeah, he had another director that came in to help him finish up the movie.
Yeah.
One day we'll talk about that remake.
Yeah, we'll probably talk about it at some point.
But we're focusing on
the 1960s one. Early 1960s.
Yes.
Important thing to know, a lot of what happens with the Time Machine adaptations, it gets adapted per the era it's made in.
Yeah.
Because they take some liberties to be like, correct some accuracies, because H.G. Wells is not perfect in predicting the future.
No. Well, honestly, we could talk about that a little bit with writing, actually.
Yeah.
So we can jump right into it.
Yeah, we can jump right into writing. I'm perfectly fine with that.
All right, cool. So, writing. This movie is obviously adapting a book.
Yes.
So it's going to take some creative liberties, because if you don't know the story of the Time Machine, what is like a very bare bones synopsis, what is the Time Machine about?
Yeah, so this is about a late Victorian man around the turn of the century, I believe. Him and a group of his friends getting together and him demonstrating the ability of time travel.
Yes.
Then he actually goes through and does it, travels far, far into the distant future, winds up finding a race of species called the Eloys and the Warlocks. And him basically trying to re-inspire the idea of the importance of society and what we pass down and the importance of building upon that.
Yes.
Obviously that gets adapted differently per different things. Like, for example, in this movie, it's a lot more the movie opposed to the book, because the book takes it a bit differently, but in the movie it's through the importance of reading.
Yes.
What you pass down through literature, it's its eternal book. While in the actual book itself, it's a bit differently about how they pass that information down.
Yeah.
So
not even just that, we mentioned it earlier, how H.G. Wells, he used allegory to portray stuff through science fiction.
Yeah.
Do you know what the political allegory that he was actually putting through in the Time Machine?
It's one of those I feel like I've remembered, but I have since forgotten because it's been so many years.
Okay, so if I remember this correctly from my old 8th grade class, this was portraying class war conflict. He Wells was a very massive pacifist, so he hated war, and he was also an adamant Ardment? I don't know which one it would be. He was a hardcore socialist.
Yep.
At least I wouldn't say hardcore. Well, he was just a socialist, especially for his time.
Yeah, for the time period. Socialism was very different back then.
Yes.
So.
Yes. So he wrote the Eloi and the Morlocks. Like, they are supposed to be like the far distant future versions of humanity that took like a split. So take evolution, for example.
Yep.
The Eloi in the book are portrayed as idiots who are the most human-looking out of between the two races.
I wouldn't call them idiots, more just foolish.
Very foolish, yes, but also
Naive, probably as well.
Very naive, yeah. They live in a life of luxury without very little carefree in the world. Meanwhile,
a very hedonistic life.
Yes, they have like no real true social order, if you want to say that. Meanwhile, the Morlock...
living in a van down by the river.
Yeah. Literally, living in the van down by the river. Or living in a van underneath thousands of miles of stone or whatever.
Yeah.
that would be a good one.
That's where the Morlocks are.
Yeah, so the Morlocks are a race of, proto-human, where they are like... do not look the same as...
yeah, they're more monsters.
Yeah, like, for example, the movie portrays them as monsters, like blue skin, white hair, creepy looking eyes, and like they're the version of humans that descended into the Earth after like a whole big war happened, which in the movie is portrayed as like the Cold War.
Yep.
So...
because, once again, when this movie was released, like, Cuban Missile Crisis was going on. This was on everyone's mind. It's a nuclear war. This is a big deal.
Yes. So, but the Morlocks, however, are the only ones that have some kind of, like, social order going on. They have, like, machinery, something, like, time cycles in which they're bringing in the Eloi. So I pretty much just spoiled what the twist of the story is.
Yep.
The Morlocks are essentially breeding the Eloi like cattle.
Yep.
And they bring out a siren to make them come into like these little caverns and stuff, to where eventually they would be slaughtered.
Yep.
I remember one time explaining this like whole plot to a friend and whatnot, and they just said, "So basically, is it just the poor eating the rich?"
Yep.
And I was like, yeah, this is basically what the allegory of the time machine is. The poor are literally eating the rich. And it's very funny, but this is essentially what the whole allegory of it is. But
yeah,
the time machine, however, it actually takes the book and recontextualizes itself to adapting like the Cold War paranoia of the time. So we mentioned it a second ago. Literally, the world freaking ended. Like, what year would this be in? I think it'd be around the same time as like
early 60s. I think
early 60s.
I think they set the end of the world in like 63 or something like that.
Something like that.
So like a few years after the missile crisis, because 63 was when JFK got shot. So
62, I believe, was when Cuban Missile Crisis
62
happened.
was Cuban crisis. So
yeah, but even still,
around that time period,
even then, I will give it a lot of credit for doing all that and doing like the recontextualizing for the Cold War stuff. But honest to God, a large amount of science fiction of that time was taking the Cold War paranoia and just either they're changing some stories to like recontextualize it for that, or they're making a whole shit ton of like stuff surrounding the Cold War. Honestly, like the most famous one I can think of is any works by Harlan Ellison. He made several short stories about that. But yeah, like, this is something that I do applaud for the time machine. It does do fairly well.
I feel like it also leans into the story very well by the original text.
Yes.
Because there's a big thing that's going to happen. We're going to talk about this lots and lots going forward, and we've already talked about it a bit. You can't just adapt a book one for one. It just doesn't work.
No.
So you need to figure out what you're going to take, what you're going to add, and what you're going to remove. Because if you just adapt something one for one, why not just go consume that thing? If we just make The Time Machine a one-for-one remake, perfect remake, why would we go read the book? So it inherently destroys its own purpose by doing that. Yes. So, like, it's not a good idea. And also, there is a big difference between when a book is made and when a movie is made. Like, this was made, like, 50 to 100 years before the movie. Like, a long time.
I want to say maybe not even, like... I think this was actually written around the turn of the century.
That's why I was saying, like, 50 to 100. So it's probably, like, closer to, like... 50 than 100, but like, yeah.
That's actually a way to find out for sure.
Yeah, look at the publication date.
I mean, of course, this is a publication of Penguin, but I'm pretty sure. First published in 1895.
1895, yeah, so 5 years before turn of the century.
Yeah, so around that time.
Yeah, around 50 years beforehand.
Yes.
I think like 52 beforehand, but like, yeah.
I do have one criticism I do have with the movie, and it's about writing, I would say.
Okay.
So the movie is basically about moving a shit ton of years into the future.
Yes.
And I have a very similar problem with some of other H.G. Wells' works that have been adapted into movies, especially his shorter stories.
Mm-hmm.
This movie moves at such a damn snail's pace to me. I do not like the pacing of this movie, really.
Really? Okay.
I'm not really a big fan of it. It's just like, it feels so slow to me. Like, it just goes to a screeching halt at some spots.
I personally don't see that as much. I do agree it's a slower paced movie.
Yes.
I do 100% agree with that. It is slower paced.
Mm-hmm.
Which is surprising considering the length of the movie, because it's also quite short. It's about like an hour and a half, around that time.
Yeah, so like whenever I was watching it, I just felt like, is this movie 2 hours? And then when I looked at the runtime, I was like, oh no, it's an hour and a half. What am I doing?
Like, it's a very short movie that runs very slow, because the story is very simple. It's a very simple story.
Oh, yeah.
So because of that, yeah, I do agree it is a slower paced movie, but I don't mind that as much. I genuinely do like slower paced movies.
I do too, but it's sometimes for me, it was just like, when I was watching it, I was just thinking, I thought this movie felt a lot shorter when I was younger, because I first saw this movie at like 2011 or 2012. It was way after I first read the book. So I thought this movie was a lot shorter, but just feels like the pacing I'm not too crazy about.
Yeah,
that's honestly like my main gripe with the movie is just the pacing. Everything else I'm mostly fine with.
There is a lot of scenes of the main guy wandering around looking at things.
Yeah.
Like, I do agree that does kill the pacing a bit, but it's not distracting to me because there is a difference now that's actually quite interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because during the time period, that actually could have been a weird thing to include. But nowadays, it is him about 50 years removed from when this happened, and then us as if you were 50 years removed from when that happens.
Yeah.
So there's like an interesting middle ground where it's like him looking at this alien world and then us looking back at like, oh yeah, it was like that, wasn't it? So like there's this interesting middle thing that we're watching where it's just like, huh, like we are as far removed from that time period as he was.
Yes.
So I do find that as a general interest because of it.
I understand. Let's see. Is there anything else for writing?
No, not in particular. The only thing of note I would say is if you watch this movie and then went to go read the book, you will notice quite a bit of differences.
Yeah.
It's not a one-for-one adaptation.
Honestly,
but
I seen the trailers for this movie a long time ago, and it was like,
oh
yeah, the trailers were very funny because it was saying like, watch this movie and see all the stuff that H.G. Wells got right from his book. And I was like, are they trying to say that H.G. Wells is Nostradamus or something like that? I was just like, this is so silly.
Yeah, and like, I will give it that there were some Victorian writers that were surprisingly accurate about some stuff. Like, we talked about Journey to the Moon with Jules Verne. Jules Verne's one of those that's a great... Journey to the Moon's a great example of the surprising amount of things he got right.
I didn't know that there was life on the moon.
No, not with that. But, the Americans doing the actual rocket, it's set in Houston, and, like, how the amount of time it takes to get there.
Actually, the only book I can think of for sure that I've read that actually got some things right was... I think his name was Edward Bellamy, called, was it Looking Backward or Looking Forward, the title was. Well, essentially, it was like a similar story to The Time Machine, where a guy travels far into the future, but this was also another political allegory, and, like, one of the things that he got right was, like, the idea of, like, credit cards.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's pretty cool, actually, but...
You'll encounter that a lot with different writings, where it's, like, every once in a while, like, I think one of the best examples is Star Trek, where... they get so many different sci-fi things right, but also people argue that's one of the most popular sci-fi brands of all time. Are we just not basing our technology off the ideas that they made?
Yep.
So, like, they have, like, tablets where you, like, move things around, you pull up text and all, like, span it across with, like, a nice flat screen. It's like, did we not just see that? And then some people were like, we should just make that. Should we just not replace paper with a nice screen?
Mm-hmm. All right.
So, like... You'll encounter that in different literatures and arts a lot, where people get things relatively right. However, for different adaptations, you obviously need to fix some things.
Yes.
Because a lot of these will be very weird. Like, imagine a trip to the moon made nowadays by Jules Verne. People would watch that being like, this is so weird.
Yeah.
Because, like, despite there being accuracies, there's a lot of inaccuracies.
Well, weirdly enough, since you mentioned about that, there's, like, I remember somebody was telling me, like, he has a very weird obsession, like I do at times, where he, like, looks into a topic. He was telling me about this, how the history of the scientific study, quote-unquote, of Mars.
Yep.
And how all these different people were proposing, like, life on Mars and whatnot. Like, this was, like, way before we were actually able to, like, land things on Mars.
Yeah.
So he was telling me,
back
like,
when there was, like, a little light in the sky.
yeah, so, like, everybody was, like, looking at, like, the surface of Mars from a telescope, looking at it. I was like, man, this is, like, irrigation and stuff like that. Like, they must have really advanced civilizations over here. So, like, they were, like, proposing, like, the names of the races of Martians, I guess.
Yeah.
And they were just going all elaborate. Jules Verne was also a part of that whole discussion as well. Yep. And then once we finally landed stuff on the moon, I mean, Mars, they were like, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
Everything's dead.
Yep.
And it's like, well, back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But, like, you encounter that. Like, there's lots of fanciful writing where people are like, oh my god, there's this great thing.
Yeah, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah,
that.
no.
It's literally just entertainment for me.
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, you can apply that to, in my opinion, like, this is very apt to use because everybody loves doing it nowadays, is conspiracy theorizing.
Conspiracy theories are ancient, though.
They are very ancient, but also, like, I always tell people, if you're going to be conspirizing about random things, think about it for a second. If you want to think if it's true, think of it like this. How entertaining is it? Because if it's very entertaining, then it might not be true, because entertaining is just, I don't know, wishful thinking and whatnot. It make interesting stories, but whenever you actually apply it to the real world, it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, it's nonsense.
Yeah, most conspiracy theories don't.
Especially like, say, JFK assassination conspiracy theory. Good lord, the amount of them that are out there.
Oh, yeah, there's so many.
Yep. Alright, I think this is a good segue for us to move on to acting.
Yes.
Honestly, meh.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm just meh about it.
Yeah, it's fine.
I really don't care about it that much. Like, the acting is, like, nothing to write home about, but also there's nothing egregious.
Yeah.
It's pretty middle of the road.
I will say there is some minor egregious writing with the Eloys.
Oh, yeah.
I do feel like they made some interesting casting decisions.
Oh, yeah, like, is it the fact that they're all white and blonde?
Yeah, they definitely made them all Aryan.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure if Hitler was still around for this time and he saw this movie, he probably had the biggest erection known to man just seeing the Eloi.
Oh no, he would have banned it because they were being submitted.
Oh yeah.
He would have banned it because they were like, no, they're not being treated as superiors.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Like, he would have banned it for that. So
probably. Well, he probably would have anyway. Very interesting.
Yeah. So, like, I do feel like some of the casting they did for the Eloi, like, one of the ones that, like, got, like, 2 lines. Because they deliver them like, that's just how it is.
Well, that's just how it is. Books? Yeah, we have books.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I'll just sit around and they're like, there's really nothing here for them. It's just like, look, like, I'm willing to bet the director just went to them and said, look, don't do anything. just deliver your lines like you're reading it to
less emotion.
like read it off like you're a dementia patient. It's like, what?
This is imagine the breather line. The director like, no, less emotion. Like, pull it back. I want to see the cardboard fall out of your mouth.
Like, I need you to sound like wet white bread. Wet white bread. I need you to sound like that. Like, can somebody give me a mop? I need you to sit it on this table, and whenever the actor plays it, look at the mop and just see its emotion.
Yeah, so...
Just like that.
Outside of the Eloi casting, perfectly fine. Some of the Eloi extras that have, like, 1 or 2 lines, I'm like, ugh, you were casted to stand in the background. They were not expecting you to read lines.
I did not know this. Hang on, let me find my notes here from the time machine. Okay, here we go. I had only one note this
Okay.
entire time from this movie, and it was about the acting.
Oh, okay.
One actor, and I was surprised to see him, and I did not know who he was when I first saw it, but when I heard his voice, I thought, he sounds familiar. So I looked him up,
Okay.
and I immediately remembered, oh my god, I remember him. Alan Young.
Alan Young. Okay.
Alan Young was the guy that was the time traveler's friend. He had like that really interesting looking mustache.
Yes, the Irishman.
Yes, the Irishman. Do you know what he is most famous for playing?
What?
Scrooge McDuck. As soon as I heard his voice, I was like, wait a minute. I've heard this from somewhere. So I typed in his name and looked at his filmography, and I was like, that's Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, that.
From, of course, The Christmas Carol and DuckTales.
Yeah, I presume DuckTales.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More famous for DuckTales, I guess. But yeah, I was like, holy crap, I did not realize that. But yeah, that's it. That was the only note I had,
Fair enough.
especially for acting. I was just like, that is so funny to me.
Yeah.
I really don't want to make it seem like, oh, that's a throwaway thing. No, I just think that's just
It's
cool.
neat, yeah.
It's like a little funny Easter egg for me. It's like, I was like, oh, this is probably my favorite casting out of all of them. Everybody else was like a wet paper bag, and the time traveler was like a very standard action-adventure hero from the time
Yeah,
period.
he's a typical male lead. Like,
Yep.
60s male lead. Especially for sci-fi for the time period.
Trying to show off some wonder and stuff, like champion humanity. It's
Yeah.
Like, okay, I've seen this a dozen times in this time period. You're literally a dime a dozen at this
Yeah.
point.
So, they cast him to be sci-fi male lead. He acts as a sci-fi male lead.
No.
Nothing impressive. This movie, you're not watching for the acting.
Yeah, because I think that since you said that, we can segue to production, because
Yes.
this is what the movie is more well known for.
Yes.
All right, Bryce. Since you are the more technical, astute madam in this group here, why don't you explain to the audience what makes this movie more well known?
So, first off, this movie made about in the 60s.
Yes.
So ideas like special effects, I shouldn't say were new, but like we're getting off of the golden age of Hollywood where movies were mass produced. So dedicating a significant amount of time to special effects was not very common. And because of that, you get lots of sci-fi movies with, like, penciled in, like, highlighter kind of special effects. Like, I think a good one's Forbidden Planet's a good example of that.
I have
Made,
not
like,
seen that one,
few
honestly.
years... it's one of Leslie Nielsen's first movies.
Oh.
It's very good. It's also the first appearance of Robbie the Robot. Which... For some reason, this one prop propagated effing Hollywood to be in like 50 different things. That robot's is in an episode of Columbo. Like, I don't know why every studio just obsessed with putting this robot in things.
I mean, listen, everything in media has its own, I guess, meme of some kind. It's just Hollywood has, what's that scream called? It's that scream whenever somebody's falling from, like, a high thing.
Yes, Wilhelm.
The Wilhelm, yep. They'll have that one and also the damn robot.
Yep. It's been a while since he's seen some Robbie Robot stuff. I think Wilhelm has definitely replaced Robbie the Robot.
Maybe.
Because you don't see Robbie the Robot much. Like, I'm guessing he's probably still had screen credits, but it's like... The last appearance was probably, like, 5 years ago, and before that, like, 7 years. Like...
I'm trying to see if I can look up last appearance for Robbie the Robot.
Yeah, so... But, one of the big things with the actual design of this movie, well, with the production of it, is model work. They use lots of very interesting model work within the actual movie. Lots of good scale miniatures, especially the one that really stands out for me is the End of the World.
Mm-hmm.
End of the World model work is very good. They did take a lot of liberties with how nukes work. Because that's not what would happen to the world if one went off, but... this is sci-fi. You give it liberties on science.
Give it at least a little bit of credit, because at least none of the people did that 1950s. What was it? Duck and cover thing that children in the 50s were being taught how to do in an event of a nuclear blast.
Yeah,
that is That is so funny.
Humanity is filled with so many things that just, hey, do this just to make you feel safe and you won't panic. Because the last thing we need at that moment is a panic.
True. Very true.
So,
oh, man.
A lot of that era is filled with people just telling each other, it's like, hey, do this thing, it might help. And it's like, that won't actually help. That's literally just getting you out of the way so you don't make things worse.
Yep. I mean, no matter what, we're going to make things worse.
Yeah, so.
We're terrible at that. Have you seen the toilet paper fiasco?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. What else with production is of note, though? Don't choke on the water now. It's not good for you.
You asked me right when I took a drink.
Oh.
But yeah, I presume you're trying to lead me into talking about a very specific thing at this point. Or are you...
Well, what did you mention so far?
So I'm talking about the actual model work of the actual movie,
Yes.
which I am a big fan of.
Mm-hmm.
So, model work is nowhere near a new thing. Model work's been around for a long time, but the model work they actually use for that is really good, and I'm not sure where they filmed this movie, but they have a really good, they do a good job of being able to, replace the set, especially during, the first half of the movie, because there's a big time travel section where it's all occurring on, about one street. Yeah. Around that. Probably
one block. Really one block.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, too. It's I don't know if they actually, created any true sets or anything for the movie.
Yeah. Because if this is a set, this is a big set.
Yeah.
For the time period, this is a huge set. If this is, a real-life place, this is a set, they did an excellent job renovating it.
Oh, yeah.
Between I fully believe, I'm not sure how they did it. And I'm looking at this being wow, they did a really good job of, selling that this is a time travel section, for the first half anyways.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, I actually don't know for sure where they might have filmed this at.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to take place in England.
Yes, Victorian England, late Victorian.
Yep, very late Victorian.
Because Victorian ends very early 1900s.
Yeah, Queen Victoria died at, the very beginning of the 1910s, I think.
Was it 1910s? Because I thought it was, 1905 or something like that. But it was, around that, and then he goes into Edwardian, and Edwardian's the First World War.
Yeah, but nobody cares about those inbreds.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Victorian goes from, 1830s to very early 1900s.
Lasts a long time.
Yeah, it lasts a long time. Queen Victoria, the third longest ruling, second longest ruling.
Second longest.
Yeah.
So it's Queen Elizabeth the first.
Yeah, third longest was George III, I think. George III was third longest, I think.
Yeah, I think so, because that George III was the one from the American Revolution.
Yeah, because he saw 7 Years' War, American Revolution, Napoleonic Wars. He saw a lot.
Imagine ever sitting down with that crazy lunatic and
doing
actual biography with him.
God, depending on what time you come to him, you might just be incoherent.
It would be amazing. It would be amazing to read, though. Oh man. Let's see. I think for the Time Machine though, with production, the main thing that everything every poster and everything that trailer and what I was wanting to show you in your face is look at the time travel special effects.
Yes.
So the time lapsing of everything,
which is part of the model work. Yeah.
Yeah.
They use lots of stop motion in the movie. Mm-hmm. So they are combining with their model work with stop motion because they're having to show these large areas, relatively large, and things going through and changing with them. And for a lot of it, they do use life-size things. For example, the fashion model is a good example of life-size stop motion.
Yep.
But, some other things, the plants and, the room, they had to use, model stop motion. And they're doing a really good job of managing to do that. Now, model work, not remotely new. Stop motion, not remotely new. Matter of fact, there's, a movie later down my list that has stop motion in it. That's, 50 years before that. So, not quite, more 30 years, but still.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the stop motion in this movie is very good. You definitely see that it is newer stop motion, because it is very much in its primitive stages. Because stop motion was around for a while, but it's it's a bit rough, but it's really good. It doesn't age god awful.
Oh yeah.
It ages a bit, don't get me wrong, but...
I mean, listen, it's a movie from the 1960s. What more do you...
Yeah, like...
You're not going to find very many movies from back then, or even now, that'll stand the test of time.
I argue I see movies in the 90s regularly that were ages worse than the special effects in this movie.
Yeah.
Especially the late 90s? Oh my god, I don't know what people were smoking in the late 90s to make them this looks like a good special effect.
It's that angst and edge that they were trying so hard to nail in there.
Yeah.
And it lingered on into the early 2000s.
God, the early 2000s with the low frame rate slow motion. Oh my god.
Especially after The Matrix came out.
Oh
Every
my god,
movie
yeah.
wanted to do that so bad.
Like,
honestly, like the true time and tested way to know on how bad the special effects were at that time. I mean, I hate always bringing up that genre because I don't really care for it. It's the superhero movies.
Yeah.
Like the special effects that I can always think of that I really hated was damn Catwoman. Yeah, the special effects in that one.
Which one? Is that like Harry Bailey or not Harry Bailey? Halle Berry, that's it.
That's
Harry Bailey's the guy in Canterbury Tales.
Yes. No. Yeah, it's Halle Berry in Catwoman. I think this was like 2003 or 4.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Good lord, it's
Yeah.
so bad. But it's a great movie to watch with a bunch of drunk people.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
Or at least...
I think the only movie to have ever had a Razzie accepted in person.
That might be true.
Because
I know Sandra Bullock was the other one, I think.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think it was Sandra Bullock, because she got an Academy... Well, she was the first actress to win an Academy Award and a Razzie in the same year.
Ah,
interesting. She won an Academy Award for The Blind Side, and then she won a Razzie for Crazy About Steve.
Of course, she won an Academy Award for Blind Side.
Yeah, I hate that movie so much. Not because of also what it's about, but also there's like a handful of movies that I've seen from school where it was one of two movies, and there's always a third exception. It was either we had to watch The Blind Side a lot, or we had to watch freaking Holes. I hate both movies with a burning passion, and I hate my librarian so much for that, because she only had those two movies. I think the only other movie she might have had was freaking... What was it? It was a secret agent movie featuring hamsters.
Oh, G-Force.
Oh my god!
I
Yes.
think that's the name. I presume you're talking about G-Force.
I'm guessing that's what it's called. I don't remember it. I just remember it being bad.
I remember the movie exists, and I remember its plot twist. Spoiler alert for G-Force.
Oh no.
That the main villain is the Mole.
Great writing, guys. What a twist! Oh man, we're going to talk about a mystery in a few episodes, but great twist, guys.
What's a twist?
M. Night Shyamalan is quaking in his boots. I think the only other thing that we watched, which I can never hate, was Goosebumps. And that was only for Halloween. Not the movie, the TV show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was
that's a TV show, so you at least get some more episodes. So.
Yeah. But it was only like a DVD that had like maybe 3 episodes.
Okay. Which one, by the way? Because there's been like a few different adaptations.
No. It's just the TV show of it.
There's been a few adaptations of the TV show.
Oh, the 90s one.
90s one? Okay.
The one that a lot of people at least recognize. I know the...
I presumed it was the 90s one, but I wanted to confirm. Because there's also like a Netflix one or something like that, so...
I've not seen that one. No, this was like early 2010, so it would have been the old Goosebumps of the 90s.
Yeah.
Special place in my heart, even though they are very campy.
Oh, yeah, no, like... R.L. Stein wrote for kids.
Hey, I applaud for that.
Like...
He understood his audience.
Yeah, no, he understood his audience, and he made good work. It wasn't just slop he threw on a page.
Mm-hmm. I hope he's doing well.
He's still alive, I'm pretty sure. Still around.
Oh, I know he's still alive. I just hope he's doing well.
Yeah, I think he's like in his 80s.
I know he's older now, yeah.
Yeah, he's older.
He does, like... book signing meetups and whatnot at small like small local bookstores. I know like he did one up in Vermont recently.
Yeah, he's in that dangerous age range where he's a little old to do it, but not quite the Lich King of things like William Shatner that somehow still do that.
Anyway, do we have anything else to say about for production? Getting back to our review.
Not really, nah.
Alright, now design.
Yes. I love the design of this movie.
Yeah, I like the design too.
The costuming's amazing. The work, like the actual designs of sets and works, and most particularly the main piece, the main prop, the time machine itself.
Oh yeah, the design is great.
They made it look like a Victorian's idea of a time machine.
Yes, it's like taking those old school like drawings of that time period. At least like I'm trying to think if I ever saw like a drawing of like when the book first came out, trying to design of what they thought the time machine would look like, and it's like almost a 1-for-1 idea of how a Victorian era science fiction piece like the time machine would have been put into a screen. It's like, they captured it right. I
love the design for this movie. And there is not a single point while watching this movie that I don't feel like they got the time period. Because I watch it, I'm like, this is the Victorian era, turn of the century, they're doing a good job, like, setting all of this up, and then immediately goes into, like, First World War, then into the Second, and going on, like, from that, and they, like, do a good job, like, also within the writing of setting up, like, Boer War, and the First World War, and the Second World War, like, the doom within that, and they do a good job of making it feel like humanity within that, like, design-wise, is in that eternal war.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the main guy is just trying to find peace. He's just trying to find a time period where humans have moved on from that, and they do a good job of designing different pieces of we'll never get past it.
Yep.
And they do that in such a way without explicit writing. Mm-hmm. They do that purely within the sets. One of the best examples being literally just a newspaper set to the side that you just see. It's like, oh yeah, First Boer War. I think it's the First Boer War. It's one of the Boer Wars.
I believe it would be the First World War. At least he found out...
No, Boer Wars for the Victorian.
Oh, yeah.
Because like, he's talking with his friends, and it's like, oh, you should think of stuff for the army, and then he looks over a newspaper, and it says, the Boer War. Because they just started that.
Yeah.
Because, like, yeah.
Alright, anything else for design for you?
No, I love the design for this movie.
Alright.
The only problem I have is obviously that for some reason someone was smoking goddamn crack when casting the Eloys.
And my only issue was the freaking pacing of this movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
I just don't understand why they were like, they need to be Aryan. Like, this is so random.
I honestly do not know. Alright, well, would you recommend this movie to people, Bryce?
Generally, I would say so. This isn't an every person recommendation, but like, if you're like chilling with some people, this could be a fun movie to throw on.
Yeah.
For most people, this could be like a good background movie.
So,
well, other people's, this could be like a good, like, actually getting engrossed in it.
Yes. So, I did do something for this review, somewhat. I did watch the remake of The Time Machine fairly recent.
Alright.
And I decided to think for myself for a minute. I was like, alright, I want to compare the two. So, this adaptation of The Time Machine is literally mostly a pretty standard adaptation of the book.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the remake... Yes, it's adapting the book, but its story is a little bit different. It's a more human version of the story. So I was trying to compare of like, which one do I like better? I kind of prefer the remake in some instances.
Yeah, you've always said that, so.
In some instances. However, with this movie, I'm on the same boat as you. I don't know fully if I would recommend it to every single person.
Yeah, no, this isn't
It's a very standard adaptation. I mean, sure, let's say if you're a student and you're doing a book report and you're doing a comparison of like a book to the movie, this ain't a bad pick, I would say.
Yep.
I'd say there's an even better one that you should go with if you're reading a book and comparing a adaptation.
Yeah, there's a few, I'd probably say. So.
Well, we're about to talk about one here in a second.
So.
But, yeah, I would say it's fine. Like, I wouldn't have much qualms with it one way or another to recommend to people.
The big recommendation I would give for people is if you are a sci-fi nut.
Yeah.
If you are someone who loves sci-fi, this is a must-watch. Because this is like... This movie affected how people adapt sci-fi going forward. Mm-hmm. Because before this, there was sci-fi, but there wasn't much. We're talking like effing Captain Proton levels. like, stop there! Like, Flash Gordon coming, like, zooms in kind of thing. This movie changed how sci-fi is adapted and how we actually see it. And because of that, this is a very important stepping stone.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're someone who loves sci-fi, I highly recommend this movie to you. Because this is one of the granddaddies of sci-fi films. Despite it being made so late into the motion picture cycle, I feel it is... Sci-fi was one of those that had a hard time really getting on. Like, really following the boat that, like, epics and adventures and, like, romances and thrillers and noirs, all of those got along very quickly. Sci-fi, it took some time to, like, really bake.
Oh, yeah.
So...
How would you rate this movie out of 10?
I love this movie, so... This is an easy 10. I can watch this movie probably every year for the rest of my life and still love it. More than that, probably not. But, like... I just love this movie. I'm always thoroughly entertained by it. It's even, like, good background movie watching material, which, if you're managed to be a movie that's both, like, thrilling to watch normally and good to throw on in the background, that's already a pretty big rarity, because it's not very often you run into movies that are good in the background and if you focus on them, which is in part to its slower pacing.
Yeah. I would say, for me, I think it's a fine movie.
That's fair.
In my opinion, it's not a masterpiece. I don't think there's any adaptation of H.G. Wells' works that are a masterpiece because, honestly, I have a big issue with most of his adaptations that have been turned into movies. So, it's like, yeah, this is a fine movie. I can watch it every now and then, but I'm not going to go out of my way to be like, yes, I'm going to go watch The Time Machine.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'll be a weirdo on the street that just yelled it out loud or whatever. Because I'm one of the some people are like, what is that fella doing over there?
Every once in a while, I'm like, I want to throw a movie on the background. I'll scroll through, like, some of my movies or, like, a look at my shelf.
Yep.
And then I just see The Time Machine. I'm like, you know what? Sure, that's like an hour and a half. Yeah. I can throw that on. It'll be, like, a good picture to just have.
Yep. I would say this movie is around a 7 for me.
That's completely fair.
Maybe a 6, but a 7 is where I put it at whenever I looked at my IMDb a while ago. And I just thought, I'll keep it there. It's not offensive, except for the Aryan casting, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, we shall segue on to our other book adaptation.
Yeah. In which case, do you have the other book adaptation here?
Obviously, I don't.
Ah, dang.
I do not own a copy of this book.
I would have brought my copy if I knew that.
Oh, well, sorry about that. Because you know what the problem is, though? I have not read the book all the way through.
Really? Okay.
So, before we continue on, this movie is going to be an adaptation of To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee.
Yep.
Now,
an American classic.
What quintessential American book classics. Like,
I would put it up there with Mark Twain.
Mark Twain, anything by Steinbeck.
Anything by Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah. What's the other one? There's another one I'm thinking of, too.
Shoot.
Maybe one of Stephen King's better books.
Stephen King, like Dark Tower or something like that? Like
Pet Sematary is what most people say.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I typically hear things like Dark Tower, so...
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway... My little thing with To Kill a Mockingbird, very short story and whatnot. So, same time period as when I saw The Time Machine.
Yep.
8th grade or 7th grade. Around the end of, right before winter break was going to start, I was starting to read To Kill a Mockingbird because that was going to be my next book to do.
Yep.
I only got maybe a quarter of the book done through, but right before we were about to start our Christmas break, the teacher went, all right, whoever's borrowing a book from me, bring it back over here because I don't want y'all to lose it during Christmas break.
Yep.
So, yeah, put it back. And I didn't even grab it when I got back.
Dang.
Especially since I forgot where I left off because I didn't put a bookmark in there.
So. Yeah, so for me, this book, I have read all the way through, but it's been a long time because I've read all the way through back also when I was in high school because I was in honors English.
Yeah, this is a book that is very much read in high schools across the country.
And this is one of those that I had to read with great expectations. I had to read this book, and I had to read the full collection of Edgar Allan Poe.
That's fun.
Yeah. Enjoyed the Edgar Allan Poe one.
I mean, it's kind of hard to not like Poe.
Yeah, Poe's so good. Poe is so good. He's such a good author. His stuff ages amazingly. Cannot say the same about Great Expectations. Sorry, but...
I love Dickens, but I have not read Great Expectations, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can understand people liking it. It's just not for me.
I love Oliver Twist, David Copperfield,
That's fair.
and Tale of Two Cities.
Yeah.
Tale of Two Cities is interesting. But no,
I'm not as big of a Dickens guy. Dickens just doesn't run the same. So.
I understand perfectly why some people may not like Dickens, especially how much he loves to be descriptive on things.
Yeah.
He will go on for pages and pages and pages if it meant he can describe the lookings and descriptions of a freaking wooden chair.
Yeah. He has the same problems with Tolkien for me. I can recognize both of them are amazing authors. Absolutely amazing, but they suffer from the problem of they'll explain something for half, like the most major thing for half a paragraph, and then like describe a loaf of bread for 2.5 pages. Which, by the way, that's a thing that notably effing Tolkien did. He described a major battle in half a paragraph. Yep. A piece of bread for 2.5 pages.
I would never understand that.
Like, yeah. Those types of authors, they do fall a bit kind of like it kills the pacing for me, where I'm just like, okay, we're going along, and then he's really, like, autistically describing this one thing in, like, excruciating detail.
I mean, I won't lie, I do enjoy writing descriptive things, or reading or writing descriptive things. I do enjoy both, so that's kind of why I like this stuff, but...
descriptive things can be nice. Like, Scarlet Letter is, like, a pretty good work. But it does that the whole way through. Mm-hmm. We're not getting, like, the stop and where it's like, I don't really feel like talking about this thing. Oh, but let me tell you about the chair. Like, I don't know what it is about the English authors. Like,
English is such a weird language that it just kind of became...
Yeah.
Anyway... Back to Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes.
I have not finished through this book. I think my wife has.
Yeah, I finished it, but it's been, like, well over 10 years. Well over.
I will read this book one day, because of course I will. I have 2 bookshelves for a reason.
Yeah.
One with pretzels on them for some reason. Anyway. Do you know, Bryce, how many books Harper Lee has actually written?
Not that many. Yeah.
And one of them is possibly without her permission because of her old age.
Yep.
And it's literally a sequel to this book.
Yep.
Ghost Set of Watchmen. That a lot of people hated.
I'm not surprised.
A lot of people hated it. I know some of the reasons, but I don't know all of them. But Harper Lee is well known for To Kill a Mockingbird. Mm-hmm. And I believe...
Almost solely known for To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah. Literally, a comedian was, like, talking about it one day, and he was, like, saying, like... must have sucked being Harper Lee's publisher or something like that. Going up to Harper and was like, wow, Harper, you made a great book right here. What's your next one going to come out? And she just looks at him and is like, nah. Just
nope, not happening.
Nope, written the one. Just made my magnum opus. I'm done. I'm out of here.
Which, to be fair, probably just retire off that one book.
I mean, honestly, like, the book has caused such a stir, especially from that time when it was published, and even since then, because this is one of the most challenged books in the United States of America. I mean, I think West Virginia banned it out of their libraries. I think it was the most well-known one. It's challenged all over the place.
Yep.
And I just remember our teacher was telling us about it. She's like, yeah, this book was highly, like, charged, like, challenged and stuff like that. Like, people wanted it banned, and all of us were confused. We were like, why? It didn't seem like a reason. And then when she explained to us why, it was like, it still didn't click in our heads because we were middle schoolers.
Yeah.
And we were very young, and we didn't understand the world and all of its many dark complexities. But now as an adult, and what time we're living in now we kind of understand. I say kind of because some people still don't dadgum get it.
Yeah.
So... what is the bare bones synopsis of To Kill a Mockingbird?
So we are following a young girl by the name of Scout.
Yes.
Who is the child of Atticus.
Technically, we follow along with her brother as well, but she's the main
Yeah, I would say the main thing Scout.
Scout is our main character, at least.
We also follow her brother Jim.
Yep.
And the father Atticus.
Yep.
And it is a...
Wait, don't forget, Atticus is an attorney at law.
Yes, he is attorney at law. And the movie...
Single father.
Well, the book and the movie are following a sort of slice of life sort of thing, where it's going over the course of about 2-ish years. In which case, it's following the kids living their life and their sort of relation around this character called Boo Radley, but also...
There's another major point we have to at least add on to here. Where were they living at in the time period?
This is around Great Depression era Deep South, I believe.
Jim Crow.
Jim Crow era Deep South.
You gotta remember, this is like the entire point of the book is literally the time period that it was in. So Depression era, Jim Crow Deep South, Alabama.
Jim Crow's more important than Depression, but yeah.
Jim Crow is very important here. And yeah, we are witnessing everything of that time period through the perspective of a child.
Yep.
Literally, we are witnessing a...
First year of kindergarten, I believe.
I think that's correct, yeah. So, this entire book is essentially, at least the story in essence, is like, we are witnessing the relationship between the classes of like the rich and the poor and whatnot, and also...
Hence why I brought up Great Depression.
Great Depression, and we're also witnessing the race relations of the southern United States.
Hence why the Jim Crow.
Yep.
This is a very important time in U.S. history.
Uh-huh.
And extremely, especially in the Deep South.
Uh-huh.
The Deep South, this heavily affected the cultural identity. I would say only shy of the actual Civil War.
Yeah, like, I was like, in terms of like showing the societal, like, synchronicities, I guess?
Yeah.
Of the time... Maybe Uncle Tom's Cabin could make a mark with that, but in terms of like showing the identity of the American South, To Kill a Mockingbird pretty much like holds a mirror to its face and just shows you this is what you're like.
Yeah, you absolutely can tell Harper Lee lived through that. It definitely does kind of feel like Scout is an insert character.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's pretty much hinted at it, like, yeah, Scout is basically me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm literally telling you everything that I saw when I was growing up.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to show everybody, this is what my life was like. And this is what I had to see every day.
It's functionally an autobiography with all the names changed.
Yeah.
But obviously there's some stuff in there, because I presume she didn't see a lot of the stuff in the plot of this movie, but... She
probably heard it a lot from family talking about it and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Because, like, shoot, I have even my own, like, family history. Like, my family is, like, of course, we're from the South, so we know what everything is being talked about in this movie. And I have family that's been in the South for God knows how long. So
he's a lot more Southern than I.
I am very Southern, yes.
Both my parents are not naturally
my
Southern.
Accent does not really. My accent does not really show it, thankfully. But yeah, I relate to
my accent only comes with like a couple words. So like, the one that always gets me is calipater. That's one of the ones that always shows my Southern accent.
Motor oil.
Well, oh yeah, that one shows it. Yeah.
Yep. That one's the one that is always like, dang it, that always hits me.
Yeah.
But. Literally, Harper captures that time period extremely well, simply because she's seen it and she can put it into words, and of course, it just puts it right into film. And this movie is very, very beloved.
Yep.
As much as the book. Like, literally, you cannot go wrong with either reading the book or watching the movie. In my opinion, you should do both, but the movie is great.
This is actually one of the only criticisms I have of the movie. This is like the only criticism I have, which I mentioned earlier in the episode. You should not make a one-for-one adaptation. This is like a perfect adaptation. So like, you can watch one or the other. You can go read the book, you can go watch the movie. It's the exact same.
The only thing with the book that my wife told me, she has read the book. She remembers how they changed a little bit of like, they didn't reveal all the things. Like, this whole movie is centered around a trial. The book tells you explicitly what all happened to, like, this one girl that is being forced to accuse a black man of a horrible crime. It tells you in the book on what all happened. Yep. But in the movie, because...
It all comes out through the trial.
Yeah, it all comes out through the trial. But in the movie, it's just implied.
Yeah, it comes out through the trial. Like, where you watch that... So, because of that, there is a bit of sanitization.
Yes.
But it's, like, not to an extreme degree. Like... You have to be losing some goddamn brain cells not to understand what's happening.
It is basically not explicitly told, but man, does it really show you everything.
Which is the difference between movie and book, where books will tell you, while a movie has to show you.
Yeah, literally, books do have to tell you at the end of the day.
Yeah. it's very rare to come across a book that is well written enough through just implications. Just because of the nature of how books are, you have to be a lot more direct with the reader. Yes. While movies, you're given a lot more of that leeway that you can, like, hint at things.
Yeah.
But also books, you can be a lot more blunt and not worry about censorship as much compared to movies. Movies, you have to worry about censorship way more.
Yep. I love how we haven't even segued into writing, but we still basically are talking about the writing in this movie.
Yeah, there's a reason why writing's point number one.
Yep.
Because we're going to talk about writing before that.
Yep. Pretty much the entire thing with the writing is, like, it's basically a one-for-one adaptation. Like, the screenplay is basically the book. Everything is from the book is basically in the movie.
If you read the book,
you've watched the movie, in a
sense. And so if you're like, it's been a long time since I've read the book, go watch the movie. It'll basically jog you immediately.
Mm-hmm. You want to segue into acting, though?
Yes.
All right, so...
the child acting.
I was about to say, which one are we going to start off with? Are we going to start with Gregory Peck as Atticus Finch, or are we going to talk about the children?
I want to talk about Gregory Peck second.
Oh, right.
Because the children acting, this is a very brief thing.
Yep.
Amazing child acting.
It's perfect.
Amazing child acting.
In my opinion, this is probably like the earliest movie I can think of, off the top of my head, where the child acting is perfect.
The only thing I think of earlier is Little Rascals. The Little Rascals shorts. Yeah. That's it.
In terms of, like, I mean, like a movie, not television.
Yeah.
In movies.
Movie. Yeah, not just children acting, but in a film, yeah.
Because literally the actress that plays Scout, it's so good.
The child acting, if you sat me down and was like, what are the top 5 movies of child acting? This is probably number 2, I would say.
I think I know what number 1 is.
Yeah, you probably know what number 1 is.
We'll get to that one sooner or later.
It's way down the list. Yep. It's way down there.
But the actress that played as Scout, jeez, I don't even know where to even begin.
It's
captures the wonder of childhood perfectly, and just watching her facial expression as she's seeing the horrors and the realities of her life around her, beyond her home, is heartbreaking, for one.
Yep.
And 2, it's phenomenal acting from the actress. I mean, this was like one of the earliest instances, I think, where the Academy nominated her for Best Actress in a movie.
I'm not surprised. Like,
she didn't win, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. They should have. Like, who won out of that? If you know.
I did look this up, but I cannot remember.
Yeah, dang.
Yep, but I do know who did win an Academy Award for this movie, though.
Oh yeah.
I guess this is a good segue.
Yeah, good segue in.
Gregory Peck.
Yes. Well deserved.
Do you even know who he was competing with, though, for that Academy Award?
No, I did not. I am not as familiar with the Academy Awards. I do not.
I only know a bit about it because I love random bits of movie trivia, in case you don't know.
Yeah, I'm not as big of a movie trivia guy.
Peter O'Toole in Lawrence of Arabia.
Oh, that was a hard year. Yeah. Oh, that was a hard year. Yep. Oh, I would know who to pick. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, like, literally the Academy Award season for that year was between Lawrence of Arabia and To Kill a Mockingbird. Those two clashed.
Yeah, no, that's a good year.
Yeah.
I wonder what other movies came out that year, because that has to be a good year for movies if both of those came out.
I can't for sure remember, but I just remember, like, that was the big one that I always thought, man, the Academy had the hardest time picking between Peter O'Toole and Gregory Peck for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to pull up the Academy for that, but...
Yeah, go for it. But this is also during a time where there wasn't as much effing advertising money.
Yeah.
So, like, they just have to kind of pick. Because the Academy, during this time period, like, because this is, like, late 50s, early 60s, around that time period, there was not as much politics and bureaucracy in the Academy during that time period. So, like, there is some differences. Once again, I'm not an expert in the Academy, so I can't, like, give you a lesson on how the Academy works. But, one of the main gists you have to understand about the Academy is movies are chosen by previous winners, is, like, how they typically work. That all of the previous winners that are still alive vote on the winners. But as time has gone along, what people have considered for the Academy versus then, now, in different time periods, is very different. One of the best examples is very early Academy, where it's just like, they chose some interesting movies.
Okay, so for the Academy Award season that year, it was the 35th Academy Awards.
Okay.
Most nominations was Lawrence of Arabia with 10, and it came out with 7, meaning it won the most.
Yep.
It did win Best Picture. However, yeah, in Best Actor, you had Gregory Peck winning as Atticus Finch, but he also went up against Burt Lancaster in Birdman of Alcatraz.
Interesting, okay.
Jack Lemmon in Days of Wine and Roses.
Alright.
Marcello Mastroianni in Divorce Italian Style. And, of course, Peter O'Toole in Lawrence of Arabia.
Okay, so it was one of those two.
Really, it was one of those two. I mean,
Yeah,
Jack
okay.
Lemmon I will talk about later on, but he's
Yeah,
also
I'm
great.
sure we'll talk
Jack,
about,
Jack Lemmon's a great actor, too.
I'm
But-
not as familiar with the rest of those movies.
I'm not familiar with those either, but
Yeah.
literally, that season was literally, okay, who's going to win, Gregory Peck or Peter O'Toole? Because it's very neck and neck. If not, like, they're a dead tie in terms of the best actor of that season was.
So yeah, one thing you have to understand is Gregory Peck, they were playing the character of Atticus Finch, the attorney, who is defending a African-American man in the Deep South who is accused of sexually assaulting a woman.
Yeah.
And becomes very obvious that the man is not guilty, but it is the Deep South.
Yeah.
So he is not so much defending this man as trying to avoid the prejudices.
Well, literally, if I remember right, my wife was telling me in the book, it's very explicitly telling you that the Atticus is trying to save this man's life because if he is found guilty, he's going to be, well, I don't want to say this because of YouTube and whatnot, but it's going to be the L word, if you know what that is. And literally, I have a lot of stories where stuff like that happened. Not that long ago. Well, I wouldn't say long ago. Not far away from here, at least. So I definitely know, like, yeah, this is very serious. And, like, his children are just learning about this, essentially. Like, they didn't know, like, well, with kids and whatnot, you won't fully know about it, or at least it won't click in your head until you're an adult. But literally, these kids are, like, being thrusted into the society that they're living in, and they're like, oh crap, our town is screwed up.
Yep.
So it's incredible to me on how much Gregory Peck's performance, like, me and my wife watched this several years ago. She was telling me, like, Atticus Finch is like one of the best characters in literature. And she's seen the movie, but it was forever for her to see it as well. But whenever we finished up watching the movie, she said it is a 1-for-1, like, text to movie adaptation of Atticus Finch. It is perfect. You cannot say otherwise. Like, it is so perfect. And Gregory Peck is just the perfect actor to do it.
There's one more thing I'll say about this. This movie with Gregory Peck contains what I would say might possibly be, I would have to, like, sit down and look this over, my all-time favorite monologue in a movie.
I know the one that you're talking about.
Yes, you know the one I'm talking about.
The closing remarks and the trial.
That might be my all-time favorite monologue in a movie. It is...
I do not blame you one bit at all.
I'm trying to think of some others that compare, but that might just be it.
In terms of, like, a monologue in anything, whether it's literature, plays, and whatnot, I mean, the soliloquy from Macbeth is one of my all-time favorites, where he pretty much tells the audience on how he feels about the human condition and existing. Gregory Peck's whole closing arguments, trying to save his life, and literally looking at the jury dead in the eye, and is like, all men are created equal.
Yep.
We had to
Do your duty.
Do your duty.
Do your duty.
Should we spoil on what the verdict was? I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody knows.
No, you should just go watch it at this point. I'm not going to spoil that because we're not going to be able to add anything to it.
Yeah.
You should just go watch the movie. This is one of those movies, if you are American, you should watch it.
Meanwhile, we have people that are trying to ban this movie.
Yeah, I know. Like,
it's ridiculous. I mean, literally the main reason why they're trying to get it banned is because they don't want kids to read about, especially if you live in the South, what kind of society was built upon where we are today, because we still see the after effects.
Yeah, because this movie also did come out around the time of the sterilization period. Like, this is where we're getting, like, Uncle Ruckus kind of stuff.
Yeah, Uncle
like,
Ruckus, that whole thing came about from the late 40s with Song of the South.
So, like, sterilization had been going on for, like, a while. Where it was this idea that, like, there is a lot of local patriotic pride around this kind of thing, so there is bands behind it because it shows the wickedness of it. It shows its cruelty and evils, that it's not something to be proud of, but you'll find in a lot of very patriotic, smaller cultures that people want to be proud of their local area. They want something to be proud of, and a lot tie it to where they're from. And because of that, the South is, I dare say, in the world, one of the worst places to be patriotically tied to.
I mean, good lord, especially with the like literally, like there's no greater indictment of the existence of the South than how they portray themselves when talking about the Civil War.
It's, oh my god.
I mean, there's a great book that I've read, and I've always recommended to people when I've had arguments about this. Read the book Confederates in the Attic. It's an author historian who goes to different towns and stuff and just talks to people and their relations to the Confederacy, especially descendants of soldiers and stuff, where they just like talk about like, oh yeah, this was like a family thing, and like some people are very, you know, patriotic about it for whatever reason. It's just like a very interesting read, but man, is it damning.
Yeah. The South is filled with some of the worst atrocities, because you get everything from the Civil War to going even earlier to the Trail of Tears, even later into Jim Crow laws, and like the KKK being founded. Like, there is so many just horrific atrocities that get brushed over, and it's important for things like this to exist.
I mean, literally, that whole spiel that we went on right there, it's literally, everything that we talked about, it zooms itself into To Kill a Mockingbird. It is literally the indictment of the American South.
Yeah.
At least, not just the American South, but really just the entire American race relations ethos.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot. People always want to say, why do we keep on talking about it? It's like, it's because it's very much alive, whether you want to admit it or not.
It's one of those, getting like a little bit into like outside the movie scope a little bit, it's one of those that it definitely feels like the South needs to find a new identity, because
that's actually something that I remember talking to someone about, and it's like the American South really needs to have a massive conversation with itself. And in all honesty, with how long it's been, I don't even know if they would ever do it.
Yeah, it's because the American South is in a hard stance. They need to either sanitize and grandify horrific, unhuman tragedies, or they need to throw literally all of it in the trash and make something new. And which is, to be said, quite big, because America's not that old of a country.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
in the grand scheme of things, not really.
Yeah, it's like 250 years, around that.
Yeah, it's 250 years old since 1776. So.
Yeah, so about 250 around this year. So
yeah. Anyway, we got acting, production. It's getting back to the movie.
Yes, so getting back to the movie. I don't have much to say about the production of the movie.
It's pretty subtle. It's just very simple. Like, nothing, no technical mastery and anything like that. It's just a very standard, technically well-rounded movie. Yeah,
it's not even in Technicolor.
I mean, I'm fine with it just being.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with it being black and white.
It's just so funny where you compare To Kill a Mockingbird and Lawrence of Arabia, where Lawrence of Arabia, it's so colorful and it's vast and everything, it's grandiose.
Like some of the highest end Technicolor that was ever produced to that time period.
Yep, and then you compare it to Kill a Mockingbird, and it feels like, oh, it's black and white.
Yeah.
And it's like very...
To Kill a Mockingbird does feel like a movie that was made 10 years earlier, but could not have been possibly produced at that time period.
Literally, the best way I can describe this movie in terms of production, and I guess it could lead into design as well, dusty.
Yes.
And not in a bad way. It does feel like an old movie that's an old adaptation, but it came out in the 60s.
Yep.
Right when the Civil Rights era was just starting.
Yep.
So...
Martin Luther King wouldn't be assassinated for another few years.
Yeah, he was assassinated in 68, I believe.
Yeah, so...
Around the same time as... right before Robert F. Kennedy was shot. So, yeah. Design.
Yep. Yeah, they do a good job of actually conveying, like, the sets and the costume.
I mean, I think it pretty much, like, captures the... like the poor Alabama South.
Yep.
Pretty well. It's like everything looks like pretty run down, decrepit. I mean, it also gets the impoverished area of African American community at that time.
Mm-hmm.
It gets it down pretty well. Everything pretty much is like, yeah, if this is essentially how I envision the Jim Crow era South of the Depression looking like. Everything is poor. It's all depressing. No pun intended.
Depression's depressing?
Oh, I don't know about that. I wasn't there for it. My great grandmother.
Would you call the recession recessing?
It's a good one. I mean, everything really is just like, it just fits. Like, everybody is in the right design, costuming, everything is right. There's really nothing wrong.
Yep.
I don't see anything wrong with it.
The only thing of note that I have, minor nitpick, this is the most minor thing, they got the wrong model of cars.
Yeah.
Because I remember seeing them and be like, okay, this is like a slightly off, but not too bad.
Yeah.
Like, that's the level of, like, accuracy we're talking about here. I had to dig for that one, being like, wow, there is, like, a slightly incorrect model of car here.
There's only one time whenever I noticed something like that happening. It was from Michael Bay's Pearl Harbor. Yeah, weird reference here. Beginning of the movie where it's supposed to be crop dusting.
Yep.
I was like, that was not a thing at that time.
Yep.
That's not right. It was like the first thing I noticed. I was like, oh god, this is going to be a rough movie, isn't it?
Let me just tell, by the way, of all of the things that could have been made, Michael Bay making Pearl Harbor, it's like, okay, obviously. Like, the man who loves shoving American flags and explosions and could have, like, honored, like, very particular veterans that, like, fought tooth and nail and, like, done stuff like... And then he makes it a romance movie?
Oh, like, literally, like, making it a romance movie, trying to be like Titanic and everything. And also, like, since you mentioned, like, American patriotism and whatnot, like, literally propaganda, literally having the American flag in the water, drowning and stuff. And it's like, this is like American Sniper-esque propaganda. Yeah, I'm going there. I hate that movie.
It is fake, baby.
It is. I feel like you know what? I was so happy whenever I remember somebody telling me about that movie. If you don't know what American Sniper is, it's a movie about the most
it's skippable.
It's skippable, yes, but it's also a movie about the most lethal sniper in American history. Who claims that he wrote a book about his time in Afghanistan and whatnot.
Yep.
And in the movie, it tries to portray him as like, I don't want to shoot this kid who's got to like do something horrible, like a suicide bombing and stuff. Meanwhile, in the book, he's like, I'm so glad I shot that kid. He's like, I'm so glad. I would have shot many more if they didn't pull me out. I was like,
Yep.
My God. It's really... Man, America's just awful. We're terrible. Anyway.
A lot of countries are.
Yeah. Humans suck.
Yeah.
Humans
There's
are.
very few countries I can point to be like, yeah, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I swear, if you were about to say Japan, I was about to be like,
No. If anything, like Jamaica. Like, you have to give me like a J-letter country to say like, that's pretty good. It's like Jamaica. Like, that's about it.
I mean, who was the most controversial person out of Jamaica? Freaking Bob Marley?
Yeah, no, like, Jamaica's is kind of a country. No big, like, controversies. So, I'm sure they have some. I'm not a Jamaican historian.
I'm not either. I've been there once. Great place.
Oh, it's great.
But
get out of Kingston. It's much better once you get out of Kingston.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, with design, though, overall, it's good. Everything is good so far. Anyway, would you recommend this movie to people, Bryce?
Absolutely.
Yep.
This is one of those that I feel is a must-watch for an American.
Good luck trying to get some to actually sit down and watching it, though.
Like, when I say American, I mean, like, North American.
Yeah.
Like, not even just American. Like, if you're Canadian, you're supposed to watch this.
I feel like it's glossed over. I feel like a decent amount of the Canadian experience is also similar to that of the United States, especially with how they've treated Indigenous people in Canada.
Canada's a lot better at hiding it.
Yeah, they're very much better at hiding it, even though recently, oh boy, is that awful skeleton really
really shoving itself out of the closet.
Especially the Northern Territories.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, shoot, I think this was in, I think British Columbia or something. They were at a one of the indigenous boarding schools, and they found out, oh, there is a mass grave.
Mm-hmm.
Yikes. I mean, the United States ain't no better. We kind of we created that system.
Yeah.
But as a North American, especially if you're Canadian, United States American, I hate saying it like that, but that's just the only way I can say it. Maybe Mexico?
Mexico, you probably could get away, but just because of the language barrier.
Yeah, I don't know. They're going to probably have it dubbed anyway in Spanish anyway. Overall, it's just to be something that everybody should watch in general. Honestly, like, especially around the world, they should actually still see this movie, in my opinion.
Weirdly enough.
It's weirdly enough, yes, but it's like, with how much of a hegemony that the United States has on culture and whatnot, well, I mean, right now it's been kind of challenging on its own parts because of our own stupidity. This is still something that I feel like everybody should see to at least get an idea of what the United States is kind of like.
It's another odd thing for you.
Yep.
Also must watch South African.
A very good thing to say.
Because there is a weird amount of overlap with that, so.
I mean, literally apartheid South Africa.
Yep.
I mean, it's literally circling back into it. The United States created a system, and everybody saw that, and some were like, we need to make sure we don't do that. And others were crazy enough to be like, this is a very good playbook.
Yeah. Just cut to the Nazis who literally looked at Jim Crow and went, this is how we should operate a country.
Weirdly enough, I think some Nazis were even saying, man, they are very extreme. Like, some were even saying, like, man, they're way too racist than even we are. It's like, oh my god.
There's some crazy stuff if you read about, like, how Nazis talk about the Jim Crow laws. It's just like, this is not the type of people that should be talking about.
They took the Jim Crow South, and they also took the indigenous boarding schools that we did across the country, and they're like, we're going to take some of that, but we're also going to peel it back a little bit, because this is a little too extreme even for us. But they still did try to attempt genocide.
Yeah, they changed it. They changed it in their own way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody takes something of their own right, and then they imbue into their own conditions.
Yeah,
it's essentially what's going on. But yes, highly recommend this movie. To me, it's a 10. I wonder if you believe the same thing.
Oh, there's 100% a 10. Easy 10. Okay. Easy 10.
Because I know you said your one criticism was, if you read the book, why watch the movie? Because they're almost one for one.
That is something I generally have a problem with. But it's not, like, to an enormous scale.
Yeah.
If you're adapting something, you should make changes. But you should still keep the general vibe. But this is one of those that I can perfectly understand. You can't, like, change much with this.
Yeah. I mean, literally, say if you try to change the setting to Kill a Mockingbird to anywhere else in the United States, it really wouldn't work.
There's no real changes I can understand that you would make to this material that you should adapt to a movie that I would understand.
Imagine if somebody was a mad lad enough to change the setting to Kill a Mockingbird, like keeping it in the American South and whatnot, but the entire vibe, instead of it being like the Depression era, it's like freaking Blade Runner. That would be...
I think it was like 2008.
No. I mean, that wouldn't be as egregious as doing Blade Runner or something.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous. I mean, theoretically, I could totally imagine a Blade Runner-style movie, but replace African-American with a synth.
Yeah. Like,
just one-for-one remake, not an African-American, but a synth. Like, I could imagine that being, like, Blade Runner 3.
Alright, well... Alright, that's the episode.
Yeah, this is a longer one, I think.
Yeah. Hey, it just goes to show what happens when you talk about movies that are adapting the books.
Yes. Prepare for that to happen a few times.
And also us getting off topic somewhat with the topics that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Man, our podcast has very little structure to it whatsoever.
Dang.
Oh, well. Anyway, for next time, everybody, if you are actually following along with us, who knows how bad the viewership is at this point.
3.
I did not know that.
I don't know actually. It's probably like 7 or something. I don't know.
0.5.
Yeah, it's like half a dude watching.
It's a guy with maybe.
Kill me.
It's a guy in a vegetative state listening to the podcast. He's been in a perpetual loop. All right. For next
Bill
time.
Murray.
Oh my god, that'd be great. Anyway, for next time, the movies to watch for episode 16 is Man with a Movie Camera.
Yep, which is my pick.
Yep. And for my pick is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yep.
Completely opposite spectrums and completely opposite time periods.
I think made 100 years apart.
Roughly, I think so, yeah.
Very, it's very close, if not.
Yep. Well, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. I really don't have an outro for this, to be honest with you. I just...